Naypyidaw in Myanmar, experiencing the finest hospitality anyone can imagine, in the great traditions, of course, of the Southeast Asian Games family. It's 44 years since Myanmar actually last hosted these games, but one thing is for sure, they were known then, of course, as the Siam Games, but one thing's for certain, it's not going to be 44 years till the next one, because we've had a wonderful time here. It's just been a marvellous, marvellous experience in the last 12 days. We've got 2.5 hours or so extravaganza ahead of us, including the official parts of the ceremonies. But I think the essential theme of tonight will be celebration, and already you can see that the skies above Naypyidaw and above the Wunatekti Stadium already lit up with excitement and colour. Great celebration. They've done a brilliant job here. Everyone in Naypyidaw could be very, very proud of what they've achieved. SEA Games are certainly much more than a sporting festival, of course. For Myanmar, it's been a rebirth and announcing to the world it is wide open for the business, open for the cultural and travel experiences, as well as open to the challenge. All sporting nations in Southeast Asia are on equal terms.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The 27th SEA Games.
In fact, I've just heard that as well as the Vice President, U Nyan-tun, we also, in fact, have the President, U Tien-sen, is also in attendance. So that is a wonderful, wonderful thing for the public here, of course, who have just been so embracing of all of us, as well as the sporting occasion itself. It has been magnificent. There's no doubt at all that the Burmese, Myanmar people, whenever they put their mind to things and they concentrate and they really, really focus, they are able to really show very, very much their skills and their warmth and hospitality. Wonderful. We're just waiting for the first of the very important elements, and of course
item number 3,
27th SEA Games will be completed today, and the closing ceremony will be underway very shortly.
Item number 4, presentation of the trophy award for the successful organizing of 27 Southeast Asian Games 2013 Myanmar by Mr.
You can just see now this overview camera from the corner of the stadium, the packed stadium. Of course, there are so many new facilities, new buildings that have been used for the 33 sports that have been included in this fabulous 27th version of the Games.
A brief account on the 27th SEA Games by His Excellency U Tien-sen.
We've got actually some announcements of the actual agenda going on in the background at the minute, so we will be underway with the visual element of it at the moment, but it is the way in Myanmar that they want everyone to appreciate what is going to be ahead of them over the next 2.5 hours or so. And that's why we've got a slight delay in the action. It's going to be an absolute festival of colour, this final moments of the 27th. Of course, in Singapore, all of you will be very interested, I'm sure, because there will be a Singapore item in the closing ceremony, because the next version, the 28th edition of the Games, will be hosted by Singapore. 2015, in June 2015. So picking up the gauntlet and the challenge will be a very, very important one. And I have to say, there have been quite a number of representatives here from Singapore saying they've been so impressed, and they really will have to work hard to live up to the reputation that is now the Southeast Asian Games, since Myanmar put on such a fabulous show. Just look at that. Of course, we will be looking at the Sports Hub for the first time in 2015 for the SEA Games. Here, many new buildings and new complexes already in existence that will be used for future generations. I think this particular stadium is going to be the centre for a new sports university, and that is the most wonderful legacy of these sports. You can see the projection screens, they'll be well used during the activities this evening. And of course there will be quite a number of things. There's the cauldron, of course, the lotus flower, and the great emblems of Myanmar.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it is time to
will be extinguished at some stage during the evening.
To commemorate the
quite a sad moment, of course, when that actually is eventually extinguished.
Please enjoy our magnificent light display. Thank you.
Well, Singapore will talk about their actual performances later on in the evening, but they have had a very, very successful games. As we now have the opening items and the countdown for this closing ceremony. Similar to the opening ceremony, of course, for the countdown from 10. And there is definitely sadness in the air. You can feel it because the excitement of 12 days ago is now being tempered by the fact that all the visitors here will be saying farewell, and the friendships that have been created over the last 12 days will certainly be valued for many, many years to come. Right, so the opening countdown will start. It was a welcome at the opening. It's a we can do, we have done. There's no question about that. Of course, that's all created by lights, by humans there in the center of this extraordinary staging. They certainly have done brilliantly. Just listen to that crowd, really, really thrilled at every opportunity to raise their voices in appreciation, and again a cacophony of noise and an extraordinary visual thrill for all of us. We all love fireworks, but when they're part of the heritage games like this, it's something very, very special. And again, the colors are just streaming through this cloudless sky above Wunatekdi. We've had a magnificent weather over the last 12 days. Really wall-to-wall sunshine, not a spot of rain at any time. Beautiful weather in this part of Myanmar. We're 300 kilometers or so north of Yangon, and really almost in the middle between Yangon and the second city, of course.
ယူသားရဲရင်ပြီးဖြက်လက်တက်ကြွတဲ့မျိုးဆက်တဲ့လူငယ်များရဲ့အာမန်ကိုဂုဏ်ပြုတင်ဆက်ထားပါတယ်။ရှုစားအားပေးတော်မူကြပါရှင်။
We have quite a lot of announcements going on at the moment, but the second city I made reference to earlier, of course, was Mandalay. So we are halfway between Mandalay and Yangon.
Amanwinchi Shidosi, meaning marching forward with vigor. In every era, nurturing of youth is the utmost important duty. Myanmar youths possess the physical strength, strong will, and determination to create a better future for Myanmar. These youths are using these forces correctly and sharply to carry over the legacy of Myanmar with unity and honesty. Such effort will surely lead to a more disciplined, prosperous, and united Myanmar. To celebrate the strengths of Myanmar youth, we now present you Amanwinchi Shidosi. Thank you.
Marching Forwards with Vigor is the title of this particular item. So you can imagine there will be a few bands and certainly some rhythmical marching music attached to this one. crowd here in the Murray-Tetley Stadium, and a lot of these marchers and bands people have been competing around the whole of Myanmar in order to be here for this occasion. It's a great thrill for them and for their parents, of course, that they've made the selection process. And of course, like all countries in Southeast Asia in particular, education and the training of youth is so vitally important. And of course, for Myanmar in particular, I was at a very small village school early today, and the most important thing that was happening in the village was that the teacher was keeping a very, very good class going. It was very, very impressive, I have to say. And I've no doubt at all that the future of Myanmar rests on the shoulders of these young people significantly. Marching into yet another formation. There you go. And that just says the 28th SEA Games. Well, that is one for Singapore, isn't it? Because that is the next time we'll see these youngsters, perhaps some kind of performance. But the 28th Games, that will be in 2015 in Singapore. So already the reference is made to passing on the baton to Singapore. Towards the end now of this item then, and the coats and the dresses, and no question at all, the many colours and many very impressive rhythms there in the march. And of course, majorettes, the majors there leading the bandsmen, very, very important. And it's been rhythm aplenty for the last 12 minutes or so as we come towards the end of the opening item here at the 27th SEA Games closing ceremony. And a little farewell from the young people who have put on a super performance for us. So, appreciation for a great performance there by the young people of Myanmar. Let's take a short break and then join me back again for a very good one in just a while.
Lisa Abado, every Danyashin. Yaku Salabi Tinsame Sisingaro, Do Myama Chinlong Sure, Sisime Pipare. Myama Chinlong Agazaniha, Longere, Nipao, Tongaya Ganga, Chipugebi, Myama Yuya Agazani Tia Pipare. Nasa Kunatim now, Shidao Asha Agazap Demwema, Patamazo, Tetwing Shimtangebi, Myama Nangama, Shui de Zay, Chausu Yashi Gevareshi. Agazadama Chinjin, Chicken Ninuzwa, Pubang Samyete, a legend Gaunigo, Yashi City.
Well, welcome back to the 27th Southeast Asian Games closing ceremony, and we have the stadium announcers announcing the next item, which is a very, very interesting one. It's about Myanmar Chinlon, and Chinlon, of course, is one of the sports that was recognized as very peculiarly Myanmar. And it's one of the advantage sports that was selected, and in fact it's no wonder because they won all 6 gold medals that were at stake. And let me just give you a little background here, because during the 1920s the archaeological department found a miniature artifact made of gold in the shape of a chinlon, which is a kind of cane bull, but it was made of gold. Among the other excavated items near Pe, because obviously the history and heritage of Myanmar goes back many, many centuries. It can be estimated that Chinlon has been used as an implement, if you like, for entertainment and for sport since the 5th century AD. It's a traditional sport of Myanmar, as I said before, combination of sport and dance, played in a group. There's no opposing teams, of course, but it's played with harmony, and you expect to share the striking of the ball amongst all the players in your little team. It's a traditional sport, loved and played by the Myanmar people. Of course, Myanmar Chinlong has been very popular during this week. In many parts of the world you'd say this was keepy-uppy, but that is extraordinary. Oh, we've seen one ball down there. Oh dear. Go into detention, young man. This is very, very skillful, very impressive. Can you imagine the pressure on those youngsters? You know what they've been doing for the last 5 months? Looks like the professionals are there at the top, just showing us how this game is played. The youngsters also getting involved. Watch the back flicks. These are really extraordinary. When the foot comes behind, there it goes. Extraordinary. Oh, they really are professionals. your heart out. That's unbelievable. Fantastic. Wow. That's 5 in a row. 6, 7. If you could hear the crowd, it's extraordinary. They are so appreciative of these skills. These guys are amazing. And they are cheering them to the absolute rafters here. Sensational stuff. Well, I hope you're enjoying this in Singapore. Get practicing, boys. Sentosa Beach is going to be full of Chinlong. Well, the juggling skills of these 6 men are amazing. And meanwhile, back at the classroom, the balls have not stopped bouncing. The wonderful thing about travel is you learn new things, new people, new cultures. And I tell you, Chinlong is a new experience for most of us. Just can't imagine how skillful that particular technique is. Extraordinary. Try it at home. And it's got the rhythm of the music as well. And this whole sport goes back, can you believe it, to the 5th century AD. That has to be the oldest sport in the world. Great work, well done team, fabulous, the professionals and the boys and girls behind as well. That was something very special. Get to the more cultural elements coming up soon. And obviously Chinlong is very cultural. It's a cultural sport. I'm now looking more in terms of the art side of things. We'll be presenting the Royal Elephant Dance in just a couple of moments. And again, just listen to that crowd erupting. They are so passionately supporting whatever is going on here. The Wunatekdi Stadium is absolutely singing at the moment with electricity. It is just palpable. Wherever you look around, certainly this part of the center part of Myanmar, you will see the elephants being celebrated, the Royal Elephant Dance. In just a couple of moments we'll see.
We're going to present
It's normally done on an auspicious occasions, regarded as the traditional treasure amongst all the other animals.
On auspicious occasions only.
Strong and wonderful features.
Traditional treasure amongst
this dance was actually created and performed in central Myanmar.
The Royal Elephant
Dance, the experience,
was first
traditional dance with distinct features.
This is presented
And the artworks in support of the elephants. There are actually white elephants around the local huge pagoda. Several white elephants there. Of course, they're considered to be treasures in themselves. So we will be underway with the elephant dance now. 2 men inside each elephant to remind you just a little bit of the maybe the Shaolin lions in Singapore, the lion dances. We've got the elephant dance here in Myanmar. Really is a kaleidoscope of colour, isn't it? The backdrop you see throwing up these images. Beautiful costumes, lovingly made, no doubt. Individually sewn, they all have their own special colouring. Slight change of rhythm, but still the kaleidoscopes in the background keep the intensity and the atmosphere bubbling along. I think he'd be a little dizzy inside there with all this shaking of the head. Keeping up, every single one of them keeping up the rhythm beautifully. That's a glorious shot, isn't it? How intense is that? Ah, marvellous. I guess these are the mahouts next to them. I've not had that explained to me, but certainly trained elephants are very, very valuable commodity. Working elephants, very precious. Beautiful shot. Well, one thing is for certain, I doubt that any of the Myanmar public inside this stadium would have seen anything quite as extraordinary, impressive, colourful, the dances they would have seen, but maybe one or two elephants, not this number. It is just stunning. Very, very typically Myanmarese, I would say, but for all of us seeing it for the first time, it's an extraordinary vision. And they're up on their hind legs. Well, that takes some doing, doesn't it? So you've got these extraordinary performers managing to stay up and carry each other there. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Well, you don't need circus acts with live elephants when you've got this kind of performance, do you? Absolutely stunning. Hugely entertaining, beautiful colours, and the rhythm continues. Everyone is entertained. You have to wonder how the men inside those costumes actually keep lines and understand where they are as they get led off now by the mahouts. That was a wonderful, wonderful item. I hope you enjoyed that back in Singapore. Let's take a short break then, and we'll have another of these beautiful cultural items in just a while.
Lisa Abado, Britain Yashin. Jaku Salabi Tisamagaro, Youngzong Bamya Imiji Mulu, Miare Siseme Pepare. Nimanangan Yapai Mashire, Nima Lare, Yige Damiane, Nimanangan Damyabai Mashire, Jebio Lare, Pele Dajidogo, Chileare, Mijili Duene, Setwe Tara Pepare. Niku Monomamia Alo, Ami Pubi, Nitanjare, Nimanangana, Tuijimyaye, Chiti Muri, Shinji Muri, Bawari, Silo Ninu Muri, Suzy Nitai Muri, Sare, the Manjanigo, Pompian de Pulo, Nijiriga, Jobjani Bare.
Welcome back. We are in Naypyidaw. This is at the Wuna Tekti Stadium, and we are witnessing the closing ceremony of the 27th Southeast Asian Games. We've had a wonderful 12 days here in Myanmar.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and we are just about to get another item, which the stadium announcer is going to talk about in just a while. Just in case you're wondering, obviously the number of states, countries that actually border Myanmar, quite extraordinary. It goes all the way up to China. There's a long, long Chinese border. And of course, India as well, Laos, Thailand, Bangladesh. It's got a great, great border with all of those countries. And of course, the Andaman Sea and the Bay of Bengal as well. It's a most magnificent country with such diversity from mountains to sea. Mountains, in fact, go as high as 5,800 meters, almost 20,000 feet. So there's snow at the top of some of the mountains in Myanmar. But this particular item is about the rivers of Myanmar. The Irrawaddy, the Salween, the Sitaung, and of course snow-capped mountains to the north, Blue Sea to the south, and situated in the southern part of Myanmar, connected with, actually there are 4 vital rivers, and these rivers surrounded by natural forests, water, land and mountains, and the national tribes, the history and the culture, traditions and the trade route, all surrounding this particular item. It's called the River of Colourful Flowers. listen to the crowd once again. They are really into this. It's a huge, huge moment. They can appreciate their history and heritage and culture in such a way. It's very, very impressive. The rhythms are extraordinary. The colour and the impact of what we're witnessing is very emotional. And the reds now make way for greens and potential of the future. Of course, Cyclone Nargis in 2008 caused extensive damage in the densely populated areas, the rice farming delta of the Irrawaddy down in the south. Worst natural disaster in Myanmar history. But the Myanmar people have a way of coming through and coming back and being stronger, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Imagine for a people not used to celebration on this scale, what an impact it's having in their minds. They will never ever forget this moment. It's just an extraordinary cacophony of sound and warm feelings, and just look at the waterfall of colour and flowers and impact into the minds and souls of the people. waterfalls from the mountains, and now down on the plains, the Irrawaddy, Salween, and the Sittagong. And of course, with water comes growth, and flowers, and celebration of life. From the conflict in the mountains to the serenity of the plains. That was a wonderful item. The rivers in Myanmar celebrated in great style and great colour. There will be another item in just a couple of moments called the Great Union, but in the meantime I think we will be going to take a break, so just join us again as soon as you can. We'll be with you soon.
Abado Bradajishin. Yaku Salabi Samagaro, Tawara Yama Sure, Sisime Piparishin. Diana Lumiane, Wezi Di Town Tare, Jamaroye, Piransu Yamanangandi Dreama, Tamire ni Tayere Tao, Atudagua, Letweni Tangejare, Diana Aloye, Chichi Twisi Mugo, Gumpure Nine, Tawara Yama Sure, Sisingo, Tensalayabare. Pritaji, Shuza Apiro Mujabaonshin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now present the performance called Tawara Myanmar, which means Everlasting Myanmar. The Republic of the Union of Myanmar is rich in culture, traditions, and natural resources. Myanmar is a nation composed of over 100 national races. The major national races are Kachin, Kaya, Kayin, Chin, Bama, Mon, Rakhine, and Shan. In this dance, the dancers represent some of the national races of Myanmar in their respective costumes and portray the beauty, the unity, and the peacefulness of our nation. Myanmar stood for her own sovereignty in successive period together with the strength of its national
Welcome
races.
back. It's
has stood
more
the test of
cultural
time,
activities here in the Wunatekti Stadium. It's the 27th Southeast Asian Games closing ceremony, and on this particular item we are going to be watching the Great Union, it's called, and of course there is such a diversity in the cultures of Myanmar.
performances.
The
Please
Bama,
enjoy
the Shan, the
performance,
Karen,
Myanmar.
Rakini.
Thank you.
There are many, in fact, up to 100 different racial groups in Myanmar. They all come together, which is quite an extraordinary thing. Over a period of time, we're talking about Bagan dynasty going back, wow, it's over 1300 years, since 849. Then the Tangu dynasty was from 1510. Hongbang dynasty, 1752 forward. And then, of course, obviously the more modern ways and the development. And, of course, as I said before, this statement of the Southeast Asian Games is a very important one for Myanmar. They are developing so fast, and the people are really excited and thrilled to be part of this. It is a nation of many races, but really one nation in terms of its ambition. Wow, that was really, really impressive. It's so colourful. It's like going into your favourite sweet shop and having an absolute field day, just expressing such wonderful joy of having so many different kinds of costumes there. It's just beautiful. So, coming up in just a couple of moments is the final item of the cultural performances. This particular one is called See You Again. Now, that gives the game away, doesn't it? It's hoping that all the competitors
for the remaining program
will come back to be together again at some stage in the future. They've made friends, friendship forever. And I've no doubt at all that this 27th Southeast Asian Games will go down in the history of the Games as one of the friendliest and most inspirational ever, because so much has rested on it and so many people have put in so much time and effort and energy and have committed their lives to making it work. You can tell they're so thrilled to be a host.
ပြည်သက်များရှင်မကြာမီချိန်တွင်မှာမလန်းကိုင်းတပ်ဖွဲ့နိုင်ငံတော်ပြင်ခရာတပ်ဖွဲ့နဲ့အားကစားသမားများခွင့်တွင်သို့ချီတက်ဝင်ရောက်လာတော့မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ရှင်
Ladies and gentlemen, the flag bearer troops, the state band troops and the athletes will be processing into the stadium very soon.
So we will have the flag bearers and the bands and the athletes coming in, and I think I've got it on very, very good authority that rather than having nations coming in behind their own flags, we're going to have all the sports represented as individual sports. So that will be really, really a very, very innovative and interesting departure from the norm. Let us just see whether or not that is the case. I'm hoping it's going to be so. There are lots of surprises, of course, that have been foisted on us from time to time, but let's just hope that's the case. The band's just beginning to warm up. And of course, with the logo there, it's interesting, you see, the logo itself of the 27th Southeast Asian Games is actually the outline of the country itself. I don't know whether you realise that, but the Myanmar flags coming in, of course, with the Southeast Asian Games flag, the blue one and the white circles following in, and then the 27th Southeast Asian Games flag itself right after that. And of course, it is a great thrill. We were not told about this. It's a great surprise that the President, U Tin Sen, President of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, is in attendance. So this is a very, very important moment for all the parades and the marching men here.
29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲပါအားကစားနည်း33မျိုးကိုကျင်းပနိုင်ခဲ့ပြီးအရှေ့တောင်အာရှနိုင်ငံ17နိုင်ငံမှာအားကစားသမားစုစုပေါင်း4642ဦးတို့ပေါင်းဝင်ရှင်ပြိုင်နိုင်ခဲ့ပါတယ်ရွှေတံဆိပ်460ခုငွေတံဆိပ်460ခုကျင်း 639ခုစုစုပေါင်းတစ်စိတ်1559ခုချီးမြှင့်နိုင်ခဲ့ပါတယ်ရှင်
We have held 33 kinds of events in these 27 SEA Games, and 4,642 athletes from the SEA Games Federation member countries have competed. The total
there you go, and the
medals,
announcement that over 4,500 athletes have been competing here, and we've got some representatives here at the moment for aquatics. And of course, from Singapore's perspective, this is a major one, because we have some extraordinary performances to note. Of course, in aquatics we had some great performances from Joseph Schooling, 3 games records he happened to be involved with, one in the 4x100 meters freestyle as well. But of course we had great performances from Amanda Lim as well,
ladies and gentlemen,
and that was very impressive.
Now, with the total number of 238 competitors from the SEA Games Federation.
And then the archery gold by Chan Jingru. That was the first gold medal in archery since 1983. That was in the women's recurve. So well done, Ringju. Jingru, I beg your pardon. Archery was a big surprise to us.
Welcome the athletes of archery with the total number of 103 competitors from the SEA Games.
103 competitors and 10 gold medals at stake. Right after this, of course, we are going to be getting the track and field athletics. Of course, they are in alphabetical order. There they are. And although Singapore had their moments, of course, the big thing was for Mok Yin Run, who had the first ever gold medal in men's marathon. A great effort by him. Zhang Jirong came up with a 5th consecutive gold medal in the women's shot put as well. And that was the highlights really for Singapore. The top country, of course, in track and field was Thailand. And we should mention Wasana Winneto came up with 12th gold medal in these games. Badminton, a bit disappointing for Singapore on the whole. Indonesia did really well, and Malaysia there, Harimau, they did pretty well as well. We just got representatives of the badminton group here, of course, and they will still be fighting a little bit later on, of course, next year for the Commonwealth Games badminton. That will be something very special amongst most of the Southeast Asian countries. Singapore together with Malaysia as well, top of that tree. Basketball, well, basketball, I think we did pretty well in that one, because we had the first medal since 1979. Got a bronze medal in basketball. Quite unexpected perhaps, but a great performance there. Philippines obviously dominated that particular sport, but Singapore are making progress. I remember the 3-a-side back at the Youth Olympics as well. We did pretty well there. So there's a tall boy. I wonder what sport he's involved in. Right. Well, you can't say billiards and snooker without putting the name of Peter Gilchrist in it as well, because that's the 3rd consecutive English billiards gold medal that he's achieved. And in fact, coming hot off the World Championship success, that's a great achievement by Peter Gilchrist as well. They have billiards and snooker.
And 12 gold medals.
And well, we'll be very happy that Gilchrist achieved his ambition of a trio of gold medals in successive Southeast Asian Games. On the boxing side, well, you'd expect the Philippines to do well, wouldn't you? They certainly did.
Ladies and gentlemen, the athletes of boxing are marching into the stadium.
And the boxers, they had 3 gold medals altogether, did the Philippines.
And 14 gold
Jose Gabuca, Mark Barriga and Mario Fernandez, heroes for the Philippines, and of course they have achieved very well just came in behind Singapore in the total medal count with 29 gold, 34 silver and 38 bronzes. The bodybuilding side of things.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes of bodybuilding with the total
Indonesia
32
significantly involved
countries and 5 gold medals.
That. So the bodybuilders coming in, and right after that we will have the canoeing, 100 competitors in that with 16 gold medals being competed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes of canoeing with a total number of 100 competitors from the different SEA Games Federation member countries and 16 gold medals.
And again, of course, it was canoeing. Indonesia did pretty well in that as well. Altogether, Thailand leading the way with 107 gold medals, Myanmar with 86 and Vietnam with 73. You see chess there, but we will take a short break at the moment, and I hope you can join us in just a while for the continuing parade of the sports.
Welcome the athletes of chess with a total number of 115 competitors from the different countries and 18 gold medals. Ladies and gentlemen, marching into the stadium now are the athletes of cycling with a total number of 154 competitors from the different countries and 13 gold medals in total. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes of equestrian with a total number of 69 competitors from the different countries and 6 gold medals in total. Ladies and gentlemen, the athletes of football and futsal are marching into the stadium now with a total number of 528 competitors from the different SEA Games Federation member countries and 4 gold medals.
Welcome back. There's football in the picture right there, and of course Singapore took that bronze medal against Malaysia 2-1 last night. That was very, very impressive. We didn't have great success in golf, but just to recap, cycling has already come through, and there we should mention Dinah Chan, first gold medal in cycling since 1997 for Singapore. Also with the diving, the first medal in diving since 85, with Mark, of course, and his brother Timothy doing so well. It was very, very impressive. And equestrianism we've already seen go through. Janine Koo, first gold medal in equestrian since 1995. So really, really impressive performances by these youngsters coming through. Singapore team on the whole has they've been full of youth, and of course there's a lot of promise for the future as far as 2015 is concerned. Hockey, we did really well there too. That was some great performances by Singapore in the men, getting to the final, losing eventually to Malaysia. In fact, they lost to them twice in the pool and in the final, but still they've made significant improvements. So well done the hockey team for getting silver. Of course the women as well put on a great show. Judo. Well, we got that one judo golds. That was in the men's over 100 kilogram category. Ho Han Bun did very, very well. First gold since 1989. So well done, Han Bun. Celebrate that one, that's for sure.
132 competitors from the different CGF member countries and 18 gold medals.
In fact, Singapore, on the whole, has made some really great historic firsts this 27th Southeast Asian Games. We're involved in the traditional boat race as well. Of course, the shooting, karate-do. There's a lot at stake there. 145 competitors, 17 gold medals at stake in karate-do. So a lot of the other competitors and countries made great capital out of that.
With a total number of 145 competitors,
including the Myanmar team that really picked up quite a number of gold medals in this discipline. Vietnam, of course, as well. Martial arts specialists. Now, let me just tell you, Kempo. Well, we didn't have a great interest ourselves in Singapore, but I said at the beginning that we would be celebrating if a couple of the countries had picked up many medals at all. And in fact, one of the smaller countries has picked up a very, very important Kempo, and that was Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste picked up 2 gold medals in Kempo, so well done them. Muay Thai, very important obviously for the nations around Myanmar, for Thailand and for Vietnam. Significantly impressive.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and you can see the Thailand flags being raised there because obviously they did really, really well in that particular discipline. Don't they enjoy themselves? It's really, really good. Singapore there, is it? Looks like it. Muay Thai. We continue. Pencak-silat. Again, in the local environment, they were very, very strong. 2 golds for Thailand as well. That was good.
Pencak-silat, with a total number of 105 competitors from the different countries.
Yeah, 15 gold medals at stake. Pencak-silat, obviously very important to countries around here, particularly Vietnam, of course, Indonesia and Malaysia. All 33 sports being paraded in. It is a departure from the norm. We're not marching in behind national flags. They are marching behind the sports. Patong, total number of 154 competitors and 11 gold medals at stake.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes of Pitang with a total number of 151 competitors and 11 gold medals.
It's another sport that Myanmar itself was quite happily involved with, and Cambodia, well, that's a discovery. Leng Ke of Cambodia picked up a gold medal there, so that was very, very impressive. Got 4 medals, got 4 golds altogether, and one of them was in Patong, so well done them. I beg your pardon, they got 8 medals, missed out the 4 for wrestling. But rowing, wow, we do have to report a success here. First gold medal in rowing since 1997 for Saida Aisha binti Mohammed Rafi in the women's lightweight single sculls. So well done her. And sailing, well, you could put Singapore in front of that because they have just absolutely swept the opposition aside here in the sailing. Quite extraordinary, very, very impressive. 5 gold medals to our sailors.
And 13 gold medals.
And well, I'd have expected to get competition a little bit more from Thailand, perhaps from Vietnam as well. It didn't happen. The sailors were too strong. So, Sepak Takraw, one of the most important sports in Malaysia, Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam, and of course the Chinlon version has been extraordinary. 6 medals in Chinlon, 1 gold medals won by the host Myanmar. Malaysia have been always thereabouts. In fact, in the recent Super Series in Sepak Takraw, Malaysia came within a whisker of upsetting Thailand, but Thailand still are top of the Sepak Takraw tree. Now, shooting, some great success here for Team Singapore. Nicole Tan in the women's 25-meter pistol got the first ever gold medal in this event. So well done her. Great performance by Nicole Tan. And also in the women's 25-meter team event, Teo Shun Chie and Tae Choi Hong, as well as Nicole Tan, got a silver. So a gold and a silver for shooting. Table tennis, do we need to say any more? Table tennis equals Singapore in terms of success. 4 golds at stake, and 4 taken by Singapore. They were challenged. There were some very impressive players, of course, for Malaysia. We watched particularly Ashraf. I seem to remember him challenging in the men's singles, particularly in the second round, and also, of course, in the team event as well. It was a good event, table tennis. Really enjoyed it. And of course, the team and the singles, Singapore successful all round. Taekwondo, again, loads and loads of medals at stake. Singapore have done well in many of them, but Taekwondo was not as successful as many. 149 competitors in Taekwondo and 21 gold medals at stake. So if you happen to be good at Taekwondo, you can make a big impact on the league tables. In fact, Thailand picked up 6, I've just noticed, 6 gold medals in Taekwondo, so they benefited hugely from that. Traditional boat race, well, guess what? That was definitely the province of the host country. Traditional boat race, 197 competitors, 17 gold medals at stake, and 14 of those gold medals were won by Myanmar. Singapore actually got the first medal in 20 years in the traditional boat race in the women's 5 crew 500 meters. So well done, Ji Yan, Shona Chan, Felicia Lee, Jaslyn Ung, and Joyce Wee were represented as well in the traditional boat race.
Ladies and gentlemen,
right, volleyball.
Please welcome the athletes of volleyball with the total number of 144 competitors from the different CETF
2 gold medals at stake, of course,
and 2 gold medals in total.
144 competitors. Thailand quite anxious that volleyball should continue, of course. Women did really, really well picking up the gold, and word has it that it will be, although not in the initial stages, it could well be competed for in 2015 in Singapore. One sport that probably won't be in 2015 in Singapore is the next one, Vovinam.
Please welcome the
there were 117 competitors in this one, and 18 of them
17
who are competing for gold medals. Vovinam, it's a kind of martial art.
And 18 gold medals.
The specialists are Vietnam, of course, who picked up a significant number of those gold medals. I'll tell you exactly how many in just a couple of moments. Yeah, Vietnam picked up 6 of those Vovinam gold medals, so they'll be disappointed it won't be in 2015.
Number of 65 competitors from the different countries.
All right, so weightlifting, 65 competitors, 11 gold medals. And the band plays on. So wrestling, a very important sport to many of these in Southeast Asia.
Wrestling with the total number of 108 competitors from
Myanmar did well here, and Vietnam, and of course Thailand, you'd expect that. 21 gold medals for 108 competing athletes. Just one more sport then before we have them all assembled in, or represented in the center. And then Wushu is the final one of the 33. 23 gold medals for Wushu. 123 competitors in total for Wushu. So certainly a lot of performers in this very Asian sport.
With a total number of 123 competitors from the different CET of member countries.
5 gold medals were picked up by Vietnam in Wushu. Just trying to find Indonesia at the moment. And I think they were very well represented as well. 4 for Indonesia. I've got a feeling that Thailand didn't actually. No, Thailand did not pick up a Wushu medal, which is really quite extraordinary. The marching bands continue, and the athletes coming in as well. The colour, the excitement is still here, and just listen to the crowd greeting the athletes here, and His Excellency and his good lady really responding well. U Ten Sen is overseeing a most remarkable rebirth of the nation here, and they are the Myanmar team. They will be absolutely delighted to be marching in front of their adoring crowd. And of course, they have put on a great show. 2nd overall in the table. Okay, there's the smiles. Myanmar, 86 gold medals, 62 silver, 85 bronze medals. Proud? You bet. Marvellous achievement. And really, we're coming towards a conclusion. Oh, there's a famous gold medal as well. How can you forget these moments in your life? You never will. Absolutely stunning. It is fantastic to see how a nation can be so ambitious, achieve so much, and really show the world that they are open for business, and they certainly are welcoming everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the honor of the country.
Pride is an oft-used word, but I can tell you, it is here in absolute bucketfuls, no, truckfuls, trainfuls. It is extraordinary. Just look at that. Wonderful pictures for everyone here. Just the cacophony of sound, it rises again, and it almost lifts the roof off this stadium, the Wuonatekti Stadium, the host of the opening ceremony, the host of the athletics, track and field.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our champion.
They will be so pleased. So many of them have got medals, haven't they? Quite extraordinary. In fact, I think, maybe I've misunderstood, but I think these are all the medalists. So every single one in the parade is a medalist.
Ladies
Wow.
and gentlemen, now we are witnessing the respective mascots from the ASEAN countries.
Well, so the mascots will come. We'll be seeing Shueyo and Ma Mo in just a while, but I'm not absolutely certain. I know that we're going to be seeing the representative of Singapore in a while, but maybe the lion, the lion certainly would probably fit in well with Singapore. I think the tiger would certainly be, the harimau would be from Malaysia, but these are... And there is Shueyo and Ma Mo at the back of all the mascots from the previous SEA Games hosts country. So it really is a real festival, everyone involved here. One of the things I'm really impressed with once again is that all the representatives have come in good order. Of course, there were definitely some pictures to be taken, memories to be put into the phone or the camera, but there is a great discipline as well, and they are all standing really well inside the center of this Wuonatekti Stadium. Often you get a little bit of indiscipline at moments like this, but I guess it must be the marching bands that people are keeping the respect for the host country, and they certainly are doing themselves proud. Lion, Singapore, perhaps. Well, I've attended 16 Southeast Asian Games. I couldn't tell you now the names of any one of those mascots, I'm afraid, but I'm sure you can look it up as we review the 33 sports that have been the center of attention for the last 12 days. But the sports are only, I would say, okay, they're a major part of the reason why we're here, but actually, ultimately, the achievement is for the friendship of the Southeast Asian Games to continue, and for everyone who's made those friends to stay in touch. And of course, with the new media of today, you can stay in touch. It's the most extraordinary thing. You're not going to move away from here and be bereft of friends. You will certainly keep those friends you make here in Myanmar. If not for the rest of your life, certainly for the ensuing years that you want to stay in touch and hopefully meet again. It's an amazing thought. The bands play on. Now the troop coming in towards the flagstaffs to start the official proceedings here. The presenting of the brief account on the 27th Southeast Asian Games Organising Committee will be there shortly. His Excellency U Tin San will be involved in that, and again the crowd are so enthusiastic. It's wonderful to see. They have been absolutely charming, and they're being charmed themselves by what they've got in front of them.
Mr. Aung San Suu Kyi မြန်မာနိုင်ငံရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲကျင်းပရေးဦးစီးကော်မတီဥက္ကဋ္ဌမြန်မာနိုင်ငံအိုလံပစ်ကော်မတီဥက္ကဋ္ဌအားအထိမ်းအမှတ်လက်ဆောင်ပေးအပ်မယ့်အစီအစဉ်ပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ရှင်
Ladies and gentlemen, according to the program, a member of International Olympic Committee, His Excellency Mr. Aung San Suu Kyi, on behalf of the President of the International Olympic Committee, will deliver the Trophy Award for the successful organizing of the 27th SEA Games 2013 in Myanmar to the Chairman of the Myanmar SEA Games Organizing Committee and the Chairman of the Myanmar Olympic Committee.
So the representative of the IOC and on behalf of the President, Thomas Bach, the presentation now of the... It's a congratulations and a thanks by the IOC for putting on such a fabulous games. In my notes, I've actually got it's Aung San Suu Kyi who's making that presentation on behalf of Thomas Bach, but it didn't sound like that in the stadium announcers, but we'll see. All things will be revealed in just a while. It's a majestic scene here inside the Wunatekti Stadium. It's colourful. We've got a serious element to it right now. But it's still, it's got an emotional feel to the whole closing ceremony right here.
Salabi, BBC Olympic Committee Appointee, Mr. Aung San Suu Kyi အထိမ်းအမှတ်လက်ဆောင်ပေးအပ်ပေးပါရန်စင်မြင့်မော်သို့ကြွရောက်ပါရန်ဖိတ်ခေါ်ပန်ကြားပါရရှင်
May I request His Excellency Mr. Aung San Suu Kyi, a member of the International Olympic Committee, to proceed to the stage, please.
In my notes, I've got Sam Yang, the Vice President of the IOC. It is indeed Aung San Suu Kyi. Had such a magnificent Youth Olympic Games, the first one of course in 2010. He was chairman of the organising committee, and he's just done so much for international sport, not just Singapore sport. His favourite sport of course of sailing, but he has moved so well in the world of sport of the IOC Vice President, representing now Thomas Bach, to make that presentation to Myanmar for a Games well organised.
According to the program, may I request His Excellency Mr. Aung San Suu Kyi to deliver the Trophy Award to His Excellency U Tin San, please.
So the Union Minister for Ministry of Sports, the Chairman of the 27th SEA Games Organising Committee, receiving from Aung San Suu Kyi, the Vice President of the IOC, the medal, and you have to say the trophy for an extraordinarily well organised Games.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Mr. Aung San Suu Kyi.
Can't believe it's going to be the Youth Olympic Games in Nanjing next year. Wow, that was a great initiative from Aung San Suu Kyi. It was a most wonderful Games in Singapore. The whole idea of having a Youth Olympics was so well received. So, next proceedings.
အစီအစဉ်ရမြန်မာနိုင်ငံရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲကျင်းပရေးဦးစီးကော်မတီဥက္ကဋ္ဌမြန်မာနိုင်ငံအိုလံပစ်ကော်မတီဥက္ကဋ္ဌအားကစားဝန်ကြီးဌာနပြည်ထောင်စုဝန်ကြီးဦးတင်ဆန်းက28ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲပိတ်ပွဲအခမ်းအနားစ ဆိုင်ရာများကိုတင်ပြပေးနိုင်ပါရန်လေးစားစွာပန်ကြားအပ်ပါရရှင်
Ladies and gentlemen, according to the program, may I request the President of the Myanmar Sea Games Organizing Committee and concurrently the President of the Myanmar Olympic Committee, His Excellency U Tin San, the Union Minister for Ministry of Sports, to present a brief account on the 27 Sea Games, please.
So His Excellency U Tin San will give an account of the recently concluded Sea Games.
ပြည်ထောင်စုသမ္မတမြန်မာနိုင်ငံတော်သမ္မတကြီးဦးသိန်းစိန်နှင့်ဇနီးဒေါ်ခင်ခင်ဝင်းဖိတ်ကြားထားသောဂုဏ်တရားရှိဧည့်သည်တော်ကြီးများအားသာသမားများနှင့်အားသာဝန္ဒနာရှင်ပြည်သူပြည်သားများကိုယခုလိုကြက်တည်ရှိတဲ့မင်္ဂလာညတင်ခင်းမှာကိုယ်စိတ်နှပြကျမ်းမာချမ်းသာပါစေကြောင်းနှုတ်ခွန်းဆက်သအပ်ပါတယ်။ခုချိန်ဟာ29ကြိမ်မြောက်ရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားစားပြိုင်ပွဲများကိုအောင်မြင်စွာကျင်းပပြီးစီးပြီဖြစ်လို့ပိတ်ပွဲခမ်းနားကိုကျင်းပပြုလုပ်လျက်ရှိပါတယ်။ဖွင့်ပွဲခမ်းနားကိုကျင်းပခဲ့တဲ့ဒီဇင်ဘာလ17ရက်နေ့မှစပြီးယနေ့အချိန်ထိကျွန်ုပ်တို့တွေဟာချစ်ခင်ရင်းနှီးစွာနဲ့အတူတကွရှိခဲ့ကြပါတယ်။အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားစားပြိုင်ပွဲဝင်နိုင်ငံများမှအားစားသမားများအနေနဲ့လည်းအားစားပြိုင်ပွဲများကိုအားစားစိတ်ဓာတ်ပြေဝစွာနဲ့အကျိတ်နဲ့အနိုင်ခံအရှုံးမပေးဘဲတရားမျှတစွာ၎င်းတို့ရဲ့ရည်မှန်းထားတဲ့အောင်မြင်မှုများကိုရရှိရေးအတွက်စဉ်ဆက်မပြတ်ကြိုးပမ်းအားထုတ်ရှင်ပြိုင်ခဲ့ကြပြီးစုတစိတ်များကိုလည်းအသီးသီးစွတ်ခူးနိုင်ခဲ့ကြတာကိုမြင်တွေ့ခဲ့ကြပြီးဖြစ်ပါတယ်။29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားစားပြိုင်ပွဲမှာပါဝင်ရှင်ပြိုင်ခဲ့ကြတဲ့အဖွဲ့ဝင်နိုင်ငံများဟာလူမျိုးဘာသာစကားနဲ့ရိုးရာဓလေ့တွေကွဲပြားကြပေမဲ့ချစ်ခင်ရင်းနှီးမှုနဲ့စီးလုံးညီညွတ်စွာအားစားပြိုင်ပွဲများကိုပါဝင်ဆင်နွှဲခဲ့ကြပါတယ်ဒီတာရကတွေကိုကြည့်ရင်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအဖွဲ့ဝင်နိုင်ငံများအကြားမှာတည်ရှိတဲ့သွေးစည်းခိုင်မာမှုနဲ့ချစ်ခင်မှုစိတ်ဓာတ်ကိုအထင်ရှားတွေ့မြင်ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်အနာဂတ်မှာလည်းအဖွဲ့ဝင်နိုင်ငံများကြားအားစားကဏ္ဍတွေမှာပုံနီးနီးကပ်ကပ်ပူးပေါင်းဆောင်ရွက်ခြင်းအပြင်ဒေသတွင်းအားစားကဏ္ဍနှင့်အစဉ်တန်းကိုအရှိန်အဟုန်နဲ့ဖွံ့ဖြိုးလာစေပြီးခရီးသွားလုပ်ငန်းနဲ့ရင်းနှီးမြှုပ်နှံမှုများကိုပါဖွံ့ဖြိုးတိုးတက်လာနိုင်စေလိမ့်မယ်လို့အခိုင်အမာယုံကြည်ပါတယ်။နိုင်ငံတော်သမ္မတကြီးနဲ့ဧည့်သည်တော်များခင်ဗျာ29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားစားပြိုင်ပွဲကျင်းပရေးဦးစီးကော်မတီကိုစားကျွန်တော်အနေနဲ့ယခုကျင်းပလျက်ရှိတဲ့ပိတ်ပွဲအခမ်းအနားသို့ကြွရောက်လာကြတဲ့ဧည့်သည်တော်များအားလုံးကိုအထူးကျေးဇူးတင်ရှိပါတယ်။အားစားပြိုင်ပွဲများတွင်ပါဝင်ခဲ့ကြသောဒိုင်းများဂျူရီများနိပြများအားစားသမားအားလုံးကိုလည်းအထူးကျေးဇူးတင်ရှိပါတယ်။29ကြိမ်မြောက်အားစားပွဲတော်အောင်မြင်စွာကျင်းပနိုင်ရန်အတွက်ဖွင့်ပွဲပိတ်ပွဲအခမ်းအနားနဲ့အားစားပြိုင်ပွဲများအတွက်အဖက်ဖက်ကကူညီပေးခဲ့သောမိတ်ဆွေနိုင်ငံများအားလုံးကိုလည်းကျေးဇူးဥပကာယတင်ရှိပါကြောင်းပြောကြားလိုပါတယ်။အားစားကျင်းပနေစဉ်ကာလတစ်လျှောက်လုံးကဏ္ဍအသီးသီးမှာပါဝင်ကူညီခဲ့ကြသူများအားလုံးအထူးသဖြင့်လောအားပေးလူငယ်မောင်မယ်များကိုလည်းအထူးကျေးဇူးတင်ရှိပါကြောင်းပြောကြားလိုပါတယ်။
Oh, that's wonderful. He's interrupted by enthusiastic applause from the crowd.
ကျင်းပနေစဉ်ပြိုင်ပွဲဝင်အားသာသမားများကိုအောင်မြင်စွာရှင်ပြိုင်နိုင်ရေးအတွက်အင်တိုင်းအားတိုက်အပင်ပန်းခံပြီးမျိုးချစ်စိတ်ဓာတ်မျှတတဲ့စိတ်ဓာတ်နဲ့စီကံရှိတခဲနဲ့အားပေးခဲ့ကြတဲ့တန်း60ကျော်သောအားသာဝါသနာရှင်မြန်မာပြည်သူပြည်သားအားလုံးကိုကျွန်တော်အနေနဲ့လိုက်လဲကျေးဇူးတင်ရှိပါတယ်
And again They absolutely have adored this hosting of the 27th SEA
Games. TV ဖန်သားပြင်မှာကြည့်ရှု၍အားပေးခဲ့ကြတာကိုလည်းကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်29ကြိမ်မြောက်ရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားသာပြိုင်ပွဲဖွင့်ပွဲပိတ်ပွဲအခမ်းအနားနဲ့အားသာပြိုင်ပွဲများကိုအချိန်နဲ့တပြေးညီတွင့်ထုတ်ဖော်ပြပေးကြတဲ့မီဒီယာများကိုလည်းကျေးဇူးတင်ကြောင်းပြောကြားလိုပါတယ်ယခုကဲ့သို့29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားသာပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးအောင်ပြင်းစွာကျင်းပပြုလုပ်နိုင်ခဲ့တဲ့အတွက်မြန်မာသမိုင်းမှာလည်းမှတ်တိုင်တစ်ခုအဖြစ်ကြံရစ်ခဲ့မှာဖြစ်လို့မြန်မာပြည်သူပြည်သားအားလုံးအတွက်ဂုဏ်ယူဝမ်းမြောက်ပီတိဖြစ်စေပါတယ်မြန်မာနိုင်ငံအတွက်လည်းစုတစိတ်များစုကူးပေးခဲ့ကြတဲ့နိုင်ငံဂုဏ်ဆောင်အာသာသမားများကိုလည်းဝမ်းမြောက်ဝမ်းသာစွာဂုဏ်ပြုပါတယ်မြန်မာနိုင်ငံရဲ့ဂုဏ်သိက္ခာကိုကမ္ဘာအလယ်မှာမြင့်တင်ပေးရရောက်တဲ့အတွက်စုတစိတ်များစုကူးခဲ့ကြတဲ့အာဇာသမားမောင်မယ်များရဲ့စွမ်းဆောင်ချက်များဟာမြန်မာအာဇာသမိုင်းမှာကပီးတင်ကြံရင်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ညီကုန်းကျုံတင်တဲ့29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအာဇာပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးအောင်မြင်စွာကျင်းပပြီးစီးသွားပြီဖြစ်လို့မကြာခင်မှာကျွန်တော်တို့တွေဟာနှုတ်ဆက်ခွဲခွာကြားရတော့မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။လာမယ့်2015ခုနှစ်မှာစင်ကာပူနိုင်ငံအိမ်ရှင်ဖြစ်လက်ခံကျင်းပမဲ့28ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအာဇာပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးမှာပြန်လည်ဆုံတွေ့ကြဖို့မျှော်လင့်ပါတယ်။လေးစားအပ်ပါသောပြည်ထောင်စုသမ္မတမြန်မာနိုင်ငံတော်သမ္မတကြီးဦးသိန်းစိန်ကိုစား29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအာဇာပြိုင်ပွဲကျင်းပရေးဦးစီးကော်မတီနာယကဒုတိယသမ္မတဦးဉာဏ်ထွန်းမှ29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအာဇာပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးအောင်ပြင်းစွာကျင်းပပြီးစီးသည့်အခမ်းအနားပိတ်သိမ်းပေးနိုင်ပါရန်ဂါရဝပြုတင်ပြအပ်ပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာ
The Vice President, His Excellency Un Nhan Thun, will now make the announcement to close the 27th SEA Games.
29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲပိတ်ပွဲအခမ်းအနားကိုကြွရောက်ချီးမြှင့်ပေးကြတဲ့လေးစားအပ်ပါသောပြည်ထောင်စုသမ္မတမြန်မာနိုင်ငံတော်သမ္မတကြီးဦးသိန်းစိန်နှင့်ဇနီးဒေါက်ခင်ခင်ဝင်းဂုဏ်တရားရှိဧည့်သည်တော်ကြီးများပြိုင်ပွဲဝင်နိုင်ငံအသီးသီးကအမျိုးသားအိုလံပစ်ကော်မတီဥက္ကဋ္ဌများနဲ့အဖွဲ့ဝင်များအုပ်ချုပ်သူနည်းပြများနဲ့အားကစားသမားများအားကစားကိုချစ်မြတ်နိုးကြတဲ့အားကစားဝါသနာရှင်များပိတ်ပွဲအခမ်းအနားကြီးကိုအားပေးကြည့်ရှုနေကြတဲ့နိုင်ငံတော်ကမိဘပြည်သူအားလုံးကိုယ်စိတ်နှပြကျမ်းမာရွှင်လန်းကြပါစေလို့ဆုမွန်ကောင်းတောင်းရင်နှုတ်ခွန်းဆက်သအပ်ပါတယ်တိုင်ပွဲကျင်းပရေးဦးစီးကော်မတီနဲ့လုပ်ငန်းကော်မတီမှပုဂ္ဂိုလ်များမြန်မာနိုင်ငံအားကစားအဖွဲ့ချုပ်မှပုဂ္ဂိုလ်များမြန်မာလက်ရွေးစင်အားကစားမောင်မယ်များတပ်မတော်နဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံရဲတပ်ဖွဲ့ကအရာရှိစစ်သည်များနိုင်ငံဝန်ထမ်းများအမှုပညာရှင်များအတတ်ပညာရှင်များမီဒီယာများစေတနာရှင်အလှူရှင်များဆက်ဆံရေးလုပ်အားပေးလူငယ်များကျောင်းသားကျောင်းသူလူငယ်များရဲ့အင်တိုက်အားတိုက်ဝိုင်းဝန်းကြိုးပမ်းမှုများနဲ့ပြည်သူလူထုကြီးတရားလုံးရဲ့တခဲနဲ့ထောက်ခံအားပေးမှုကြောင့်ရာစုဝက်နီးပါးကြာမှကျွန်တော်တို့မြေပေါ်ကိုတကြော့ပြန်ရောက်ရှိလာတဲ့ဒီအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးကိုအောင်မြင်စွာကျင်းပနိုင်ခဲ့ပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်နိုင်ငံတကာစံချိန်မီအားကစားခွင်အားကစားယုံကြီးတွေမှာဤပညာစံနှုန်းတွေနဲ့ကိုက်ညီတဲ့ခင်မီအားကစားအထောက်အကူပြုပစ္စည်းတွေကိုအသုံးပြုပြီးတော့အားကစားနည်းအသီးသီးရဲ့ပြိုင်ပွဲများကိုတန်ရှင်းမြတ်လှပစွာကျင်းပပေးနိုင်ခဲ့ပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ် တိုင်းရင်းသားညီကိုမောင်နှမတွေမိတင်းနေထိုင်ရာအမိမြန်မာနိုင်ငံတော်ကြီးရဲ့လေးနဲ့သိမ်မွေ့ပြီးချစ်ခင်နှစ်လိုဝယ်ရှိတဲ့အမျိုးသားအမွေနှစ်ရိုးရာယဉ်ကျေးမှုတွေကိုပေါ်ကျူးထားတဲ့အမှုပညာအစီအစဉ်တွေကိုလည်းကဘာတိတင်ဆက်နိုင်ခဲ့ပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးကာလအတွင်းမှာနိုင်ငံတော်အားချစ်ခင်မြတ်နိုးခြင်းဥပဒေလေးစားလိုက်နာခြင်းယဉ်ကျေးရိုးသားဖြူစင်ခြင်းသွေးစည်းညီညွတ်ခြင်းခွင့်လွှတ်ပြီးခံခြင်းပရစဟိတစိတ်ထားရှိခြင်းဒီဟုသောအခြေခံပြည်သူနီတိတန်ဖိုးတွေကိုမြင့်တင်ပေးနိုင်ခဲ့ပြီးတော့လူငယ်တွေရဲ့အနာဂတ်အတွက်ညှော်လင့်ချက်များနိုင်ငံတော်တည်ဆောက်ရေးအတွက်ခွန်အားသစ်များပေးနိုင်ခဲ့ပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်။မြန်မာနိုင်ငံရဲ့ပွင့်လင်းလာတဲ့ပုံရိပ်သစ်မြန်မာနိုင်ငံသားတွေရဲ့ရိုးသားမှုရိုင်းပင်းကူညီမှုရင်းနှီးမော်ရည်မှုများနဲ့ချစ်စရာကောင်းတဲ့ဓလေ့ထုံးစံများကိုပြိုင်ပွဲကိုလာရောက်ကြတဲ့နိုင်ငံတကာကဧည့်သည်တော်တွေအားကစားအဖွဲ့တွေမီဒီယာတွေကတဆင့်ကမ္ဘာကိုဖုတ်ပေါ်ပြသခွင့်ရရှိခဲ့ပြီးဖြစ်ပါတယ်။အာဆီယံညီကိုတွေကြားနားလည်ယုံကြည်မှုချစ်ကြည်ရင်းနှီးမှုပုံမခိုင်မာဖို့အတွက်ယဉ်ကျေးမှုပေါင်းကူးတရားတည်ဆောက်နိုင်တဲ့အခွင့်အလမ်းကောင်းတွေလည်းရရှိခဲ့ပြီးဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ပြိုင်ပွဲဝင်17နိုင်ငံကအားကစားသမားတွေရဲ့အားကစားစိတ်ဓာတ်အပြည့်နဲ့ရှင်ပြိုင်ခဲ့ကြတဲ့ရင်သက်ရှုမောဝယ်မြင်ကွင်းပုံရိပ်တွေဟာလည်းကျွန်တော်တို့နှလုံးအိမ်မှာဟာဝယ်စဉ်ဆွဲထင်နေမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။အားကစားရဲ့သွေးစည်းညီညွတ်စေနိုင်ခြင်းစွမ်းအား Unifying Power of Sport ကိုကောင်းစွာပြသသွားနိုင်တဲ့အားကစားမောင်မယ်တွေဟာကျွန်တော်တို့အားလုံးရဲ့ဂုဏ်ယူဖွယ်သူရဲကောင်းများဖြစ်ကြပါတယ်။ကျွန်တော်တို့မြေပေါ်မှာရက်သက်တာ2ပတ်ကျော်အတူတကွရှိခဲ့ကြရာကမကြာခင်နှုတ်ဆက်ခွဲခွာကြရတော့မှာဖြစ်ပြီး2015စင်ကာပူစီးဂိမ်းမှာပြန်လည်ဆုံတွေ့ကြမယ်လို့ညွှန်လင့်ပါတယ်။29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးအောင်မြင်စွာပိတ်သိမ်းတော့မယ့်အချိန်မှာလာမယ့်နှစ်ဦးမှာကျင်းပတော့မယ့်9ကြိမ်မြောက်အာဆီယံမတမဆွမ်းအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲကအားကစားသမားမောင်မယ်တွေအတွက်လည်းအောင်မြင်ပါစေကြောင်းစုမုံကောင်းများတောင်းပေးကြဖို့တိုက်တွန်းအပ်ပါတယ်။ပွဲမွဲပိတ်ပွဲအခမ်းအနားများနဲ့အားကစားစီမံခန့်ခွဲမှုစနစ်တွေမှာဤပညာအကူအညီပေးခဲ့တဲ့တရုတ်ပြည်သူ့သမ္မတနိုင်ငံဂျပန်နိုင်ငံထိုင်းနိုင်ငံကျွန်တော်တို့နိုင်ငံမှာဒီပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးကိုအင်ရှင်အဖြစ်လက်ခံကျင်းပနိုင်မှုအတွက်ယုံယုံကြည်ကြည်ထောက်ခံအားပေးကူညီခဲ့ကြတဲ့မိတ်ဆွေနိုင်ငံအားလုံးနဲ့နိုင်ငံတကာအိုလံပစ်ကောင်စီအာရှအိုလံပစ်ကောင်စီနိုင်ငံတကာအားကစားအဖွဲ့ချုပ်အားလုံးကိုအထူးကျေးဇူးတင်ရှိကြောင်းပြောကြားလိုပါတယ်။ဒီကုန်းချုပ်အနေနဲ့ပြိုင်ပွဲကိုလာရောက်ကြတဲ့နိုင်ငံအသီးသီးကဧည့်သည်တော်များပြိုင်ပွဲကိုတရားမျှတစွာအောင်မြင်အောင်ကျင်းပပေးခဲ့တဲ့ Technical Director များနဲ့ဒိုင်ဂျူရီများအားကစားစိတ်ဓာတ်အပြည့်နဲ့ဝင်ရောက်ရှင်ပြိုင်ကြတဲ့အားကစားသမားများပြိုင်ပွဲအောင်မြင်အောင်ကျင်းပနိုင်ရေးအတွက်အဖက်ဖက်ကကြိုးပမ်းဆောင်ရွက်ခဲ့ကြသူများအားကစားရဲ့နိုင်ငံကိုမြင့်တင်ပေးခဲ့ကြတဲ့အပြင်စိမ့်လန်းတန်ရှင်းချစ်ကြည်ခြင်းဆိုတဲ့ဆောင်ပုံးတဲ့အညီချစ်ကြည်တန်ရှင်းစွာရှင်ပြိုင်ခြင်းဖြင့်အာဆီယံညီကိုတွေကြားချစ်ကြည်ရေးတန်တမန်ကောင်းတာဝန်ကိုပါကျေပွန်စွာထမ်းဆောင်ခဲ့ကြတဲ့နိုင်ငံကုန်ဆောင်မြန်မာအားကစားလက်ရွေးစင်ဘောင်မယ်များနဲ့နိုင်ငံတော်ဝန်တခဲနဲ့အားပေးထောက်ခံခဲ့ကြတဲ့မိဘပြည်သူအားလုံးကိုအထူးကျေးဇူးတင်ရှိပါကြောင်းနဲ့မှတ်တမ်းတင်ဂုဏ်ပြုပါကြောင်းပြောကြားရင်ကျင်းပလျက်ရှိတဲ့29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးကိုယခုအချိန်မှစ၍ပိတ်သိမ်းကြောင်းကြေညာလိုက်သည်
So His Excellency Un Yan Tun declares the 27th Southeast Asian Games closed amidst again a really impressive firework display above the Wanatekti Stadium. The next item, of course, will be the diminishing of the cauldron until it's extinguished. And I have absolutely no doubt at all that the flame that has been lit in the Wanatekti Stadium has also lit up the hearts of the people of Myanmar. After 44 years, they feel that they are now part of a really, really big road to prosperity. And I I can tell you now, that flame, although it be extinguished in the cauldron, will certainly burn brightly in the hearts of every single Myanmar resident, because they have embraced these games with extraordinary generosity to us and extreme enthusiasm for everything around it. Just a few representatives of the 60 million people that have witnessed this moment in time, and a history that is going back many, many hundreds, if not thousands of years, has written another chapter in that book. It's been something special. And now the next stage is to move on to the next Southeast Asian Games in Singapore. And we will move now to the lowering of the flags. Absolutely certain how long this firework display is due to go on, but it certainly has been a hugely impressive display, and one that we can all enjoy. Myanmar has now officially declared the third time they've hosted originally the Siap Games and now the SEA Games. They've declared it closed. And now the handing over part to the next host.
တစ်ဆက်တည်းမှာပဲစင်ကာပူသမ္မတနိုင်ငံအလံတော်ကိုအလံတိုင်းထိပ်သို့လွှင့်တင်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ဒီအစီအစဉ်ကိုဆောင်ရွက်မှာဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်စင်ကာပူသမ္မတနိုင်ငံမှကိုယ်စားလှယ်လူ့စွမ်းအားအရေးမြစ်ဝန်ကြီးဌာနဝန်ကြီးစင်ကာပူအမျိုးသားအိုလံပစ်ကောင်စီအဖွဲ့ဝင် Mr. Tang Chin Chang အားစင်မြင့်ထက်သို့နေရာယူပေးပါရန်လေးစားစွာပန်ကြားပါရရှင်
What will happen now is that the Southeast Asian Games Federation flag will be lowered, and that will be followed by the hoisting of the flag of the Republic of Singapore.
And the Myanmar SEA Games organizing committee's flag
all the
are going to be lowered,
spectators and audience rising
of the flag of the Republic
for the SEA Games
Singapore,
anthem,
the host country of the 28th SEA Games in 2015. For this program, may I invite His Excellency Mr. Tan Chang Jing, the Minister for the Manpower and member of the Singapore National Olympic Council of the Republic of Singapore, to the stage, please.
So the SEA Games anthem is being played, and here the familiar uniform, of course, of the Singapore national team. We have Mr. Tan Chuan Jin, the Acting Minister for Manpower, Singapore National Olympic Council member, Executive Committee. In a way, you'd have to say there's a little bit of a daunting task accepting the organisation
SEA Games Federation နဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံရှစ်တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲအထိမ်းအမှတ်အလံတို့ကိုအလံတိုင်းထိပ်မှဦးစွာရှော့ချမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။တစ်ဆက်တည်းမှာပဲစင်ကာပူသမ္မတနိုင်ငံအလံတော်ကိုအလံတိုင်းထိပ်သို့လွှင့်တင်မှာဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်ပရိသတ်များအားလုံးမတ်တပ်ရပ်ပေးကြပါရန်လေးစားစွာပန်ကြားပါရရှင်။
As as the SEA Games Federation flag and the Myanmar SEA Games Organizing Committee's flag are going to be lowered, followed by hoisting of the flag of the Republic of Singapore, the host country of the 28th SEA Games in 2015. Therefore, may I request all of the audiences to rise, please.
So the crowd rise as the SEA Games flag is lowered. And of course the 27th Southeast Asian Games flag on the right of the screen, well in fact it's on the left now as you see the camera, being lowered as well. The Myanmar flag will stay proudly of course there. But I mentioned earlier it will be a daunting task, but absolutely no doubt at all Singapore will accept that challenge with relish and will attempt it with the usual gusto and confidence, and certainly we're all really looking forward to 2015, June 2015. It's just 18 months time, it's not even 2 years, so just around the corner in organizational terms. Most wonderful thing I remember well in 1993, so it'll be 22 years. And with the new sports hub created, it's going to be a very, very special year for Singapore. It'll be its 50th anniversary as well. So the flag party will bring the Southeast Asian Games flag then to the dais where our representative, Mr. Tan Chuan Jin, the acting minister for Manpower and the Singapore National Olympic Council Executive Committee member, will receive the Southeast Asian Games flag. And in case you're interested, I can tell you now the official website for Singapore for the SEA Games 2015 is already up. www.seagames215.com. It's the first time I've actually announced any kind of website live on television, but it's certainly there, and it just shows how keen and organized Singapore will be for this. It's also on Facebook, so keep in touch with developments for the 2015 games. Here is the Singapore flag being raised as the others are folded appropriately. A silence falls around the Wunna Tekdi Stadium. Great respect. Mr. Tan Chuan Jin joining in the national anthem with also great emotion, and I was in the National Stadium in Singapore in 1973 when I remember thinking this is something very, very special, and it really was. Now, of course, so long down the track, more than 40 years on, and Singapore will be hosting once again, and it is a great thrill. The thought of that happening is a huge thrill for all of us. And of course, most of you in Singapore will want to be part of it in some way or another. Well, there will be many, many chances to become involved. You or your sons and daughters or your mums and dads. There will be many chances to be involved in what is an extraordinary experience. The Southeast Asian Games isn't just sport, I can tell you that quite categorically. It's culture, it's friendships, it's developing ambitions, and it's celebrating unity of spirit. The Myanmar and the Singapore flag flying very, very proudly there in a magnificent night sky. It's been perfect weather for the whole 12 days here in Naypyidaw.
28ကြိမ်မြောက်ရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲကိုစင်ကာပူသမ္မတနိုင်ငံကအိမ်ရှင်နိုင်ငံအဖြစ်လက်ခံကျင်းပမှာဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်စင်ကာပူသမ္မတနိုင်ငံမှာကိုယ်စားလှယ်လူစွမ်းအားအရေးမြေဝန်ကြီးဌာနဝန်ကြီးစင်ကာပူအမျိုးသားအိုလံပစ်ကောင်စီအဖွဲ့ဝင် Mr. Tang Chong Jin တို့ Sea Games Federation အလံကိုလွှဲပြောင်းပေးရမယ့်အစီအစဉ်ပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ရှင်
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Republic of Singapore will be hosting the 28th SEA Games in 2015. And so, the SEA Games Federation flag will be handed over to His Excellency Mr. Tan Chong Jin, the Minister for the Manpower and the member of Singapore National Olympic Council.
Of course, the Sports Council vision to 2030, live better through sports, is a significant one, and certainly one that will be enhanced enormously by the hosting of the Southeast Asian Games 2015. It is the flag to be passed over, the baton to be passed down. Singapore National Olympic Council have a huge amount of involvement in not just the Olympics, the Asian Games, the Commonwealth Games, but of course also these Southeast Asian Games, anchored by the Olympic ideals. Team Singapore are significantly stronger and certainly are more adventurous now than they've ever been. Hosting the games will give them the chance to be even more focused.
SEA Games Federation အလံကိုစင်ကာပူသမ္မတနိုင်ငံမှကိုယ်စားလှယ်တို့လွှဲပြောင်းပေးအပ်နိုင်ပါရန်လေးစားစွာပန်ကြားပါရရှင်
I would like to request His Excellency U Tin San, the President of the Myanmar SEA Games Organizing Committee, and concurrently the President of Myanmar Olympic Committee and the Union Minister for Ministry of Sports to hand over the Southeast Asia Games Federation flag to His Excellency Mr. Tan Chong Jin, the Minister for
Well, it was a long time coming, 44 years before Myanmar hosted a Southeast Asian Games. They've done it with absolute style, with wonderful relish, and there's no doubt that passing it on now to Singapore will be certainly a mixture of huge relief, but one of also disappointment as well, I'm sure, because in a blink of an eye, although he's having a little problem there, he's now managed to unfurl the flag, and there's no doubt It will be pride, but there will be a tear as well, because they've worked so long, so hard for this privilege, and have done so well to pass on the baton, and the flag is going to happen right now. Thank you, Myanmar. Welcome, Singapore. So many things to look forward to now, Singapore. Mr. Tan Chuan Jin, the acting minister for manpower and the National Olympic Council Executive Committee member, accepts the flag, and he accepts the honour, because that's what it is. It's the honour of hosting the 28th Southeast Asian Games.
Singapore Tamara Nagama Kozalene, Aksa Winji Tana, Hiransu Winji Rogo, the two-way Jesu Tenshi Varishin.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies.
So they will leave the platform with the flag, the official duty done. Coming up in a while, there's going to be a little performance from a team from Singapore to welcome people and to thank also, most importantly, the people of Myanmar for wonderful hosting of the Games. It's been a long time coming for Singapore, hasn't it? But things are absolutely set for a magnificent 28th Southeast Asian Games. If you haven't managed to see the Sports Hub at the moment, you're in for a huge treat. It is stunning. Singapore itself made such great strides over many years, but in the recent history it is just remarkable. I can't believe how much progress it has made. It's absolutely extraordinary.
Ladies and gentlemen, according to the program, the flag troops, the state band troops, and the athletes of the Southeast Asia Games Federation member countries are going to depart from the stadium.
So His Excellency U Tin San has now left, his duty done. I'm sure there'll be a lot of reflective glory in what Union of Myanmar has achieved with these games. Quite right that the pride of Myanmar was on display for the last 12 days. The future is certainly bright for Myanmar. Coming up shortly will be the handover performance of Singapore, marking the beginning of a new journey of the flag and of the ambitions of all the people who compete. And that event will be part of the Singapore's 50th anniversary celebrations. I can't believe I'm saying that. I arrived in 1972 to Singapore as an excited person who thought he was originally coming for a 3-year contract. Look how long it's been since then. I loved it so much then, and that stayed with me. So the 50th anniversary celebration, I can't believe it. It'll be the first major multi-sport event to be held at the Sports Hub. And coincidentally, we're going to get in a while 50 people from all walks of life representing Singapore. Singapore Soccer Association, the School of the Arts, as well as Team Singapore. People from the banking world, counsellors, educators, graphic designers, artists, athletes and students will be coming forward in just a while. Badminton moves away. Lots of competitions coming up in the new year for badminton. Axiata Cup is in March, will be hosted in Indonesia and in Malaysia. And of course the Thomas and Hubert Cup, I think, is in Malaysia as well. So significant things for badminton. I still have not managed to get my head around Bobinam. A few of you in Singapore, I'm sure. But basketball, I understand that. Basketball, of course, we picked up the bronze medal for the first time. So the athletes march off that distinctive Harimau tracksuit of the Malaysians. I think they'll be pretty pleased with their overall performance. Billiards and snooker, I mentioned earlier that we've got Peter Gilchrist, who starred in that particular discipline and has done so for the last 3 occasions. Volleyball likely to be included. I don't think we've got traditional boat racing in Singapore 215. 30 sports have been confirmed. There's certainly going to be more added to that list as more discussions and meetings go on, and representations, of course, of each of the countries. The advantageous or the advantage sports that the host country is allowed to nominate, quite significant, and I've no doubt at all that the major sports, the core sports of track and field, swimming, I think we'll certainly have some gymnastics as well. I don't have the full list in front of me, but bodybuilding is certainly, over the years, has been one of Singapore's significant achievement sports. The Thai contingent have really enjoyed themselves, and why not? They actually headed the list of achievers. 107 golds, 94 silver, 81 bronze, total medal count of 282. They headed the whole list. Myanmar were in second, and Vietnam in third place overall. They're the Philippines. They did well. 29 gold, 34 silver, 38 bronze medals for 101 total. We saw those marching girls earlier. They're now being escorts, aren't they? So they've been really busy all evening. Timor-Leste, well, they will be celebrating their performance in Kempho. 2 gold medals they go back with. Give you the names of the 2 winners. Silviana de Jesus Carvalho, that was in the women's Kumi Embo Artistic, and then in the group for Kenshai it was Makita Libre Jimenez and Brigida Nigia Maria Leta. What a great name. Well, 2 gold medals for Timor-Leste. That's a great celebration, isn't it? Sailing. You have to say Singapore's performance in the sailing was extraordinary. Surpassed their last SEA Games to 8 medals gold haul. 5 gold, 2 silver and 5 bronzes this time out. I have to mention here, though, the men's water polo team. They actually competed prior to the opening ceremony, so it was all very early on in the proceedings, but they have upheld their regional dominance. 25th consecutive gold medal for the water polo team for the men. Absolutely fantastic. Well done. Of course, debutants like To Chi Hong were among the key players, so to it goes back such a long way, that record. It may even be a world record for the water polo team. Singapore did well, continuing with their bronze medal success. This time they had to beat Malaysia to do it. They did it successfully. So, great performance. Disappointing in a way because they lost out the Indonesia-Thailand final, but nevertheless they've shown great improvement. The Philippines were successful in golf, and considering all the problems that they had in preparing for these games, and of course the tragedy of the typhoon, they've done really well to perform so well here. Again, Singapore did very well there in getting the silver medal in the men's, and I'm sure that they will have learned a lot from this experience. The Malaysians, I've got a feeling, my memory serves me right, that they got the bronze medal in Melbourne back in 2006, I think it was, so in the Commonwealth Games. So they'll be looking to do well in Glasgow next year. But Singapore certainly making great strides on the hockey side. Indonesia, again, always competitive. They won the whole medal battle last time out in Palembang and Jakarta. Karate-do! Kempo, I mentioned it before. Singapore, some of the Singapore contingent there, very, very happy with their performance, of course. 34 gold medals, 29 silver and 45 bronzes. Okay, it's a little bit under what was achieved in Palembang, but there are certain sports that are not here, which Singapore did really well in, and I'm sure that they will be included in 2015. The final farewell from some of the Myanmar athletes. It'll be hard for these athletes to come down from a very high level of achievement. It's always the way after a major festival. You get yourself psyched up, you perform well, you stand on the podium at the top, and you wonder when it will ever happen again. It is a fantastic feeling. But after tonight, it all seemed like it was a dream. Certainly not a nightmare, that's for sure. It has been a fabulous dream that many of them will not want to stop. And the crowd continue to applaud them as they exit the arena. It's been a multi-dimensional contribution too from Myanmar. I heard that there were a lot of individual, there you go, the individual companies that contributed enormously. There was contributions also from outside Myanmar by nations wanting to see them do well. But it has been a great experience for all of them. Can you imagine all the mums crowding around television watching out for their little offspring and just saying, there she is, there she is. There he is. And again, the theme of colour and excitement has been carried right through, even to the uniforms there. Myanmar saying farewell to all of us. We really appreciate all the wonderful atmosphere that they have created. Smiles aplenty. The pagodas are magnificent. If you've never been to Myanmar, to come to the pagodas alone is something very, very special. There's a spiritual air around them, and it's a wonderful feeling. In the rice paddy fields, there's also a great feeling of well-being. In the cities, the ambition is to build, create a future for these talented people. And there, it's great to see U Tin, His Excellency U Tin Singh, the President, and his lady, King Kin Win. They must have enjoyed it, but they must have also a tear in the eye as well. It's the Vice President, we heard from him earlier, but it really is a magnificent moment in their history. Imagine in a few years what they will be saying to their children and their grandchildren. I was there. I was a 27th Southeast Asian Games athlete. And I paraded in front of the President and the Vice President. And I was on television around the world because, of course, it's not just in Southeast Asia. You can get it on the web. It's a big feeling. Fans obviously a little disappointed that Myanmar didn't make the final of the soccer. Football, which would have been a huge, huge deal for them. Might make it. They had lots of chances, but unfortunately that would have been the icing on the cake. It didn't quite happen, but the bands are exiting, and we will be in just a while underway with the Singapore contribution. I'm sorry it's taken so long, but thank you for your patience. We will be covering the Singapore contribution to this closing ceremony in just a couple of moments. So, again, the crowd enthusiastic as the lights get dimmed inside the Wunatekti Stadium. Singapore, host of the 28th Southeast Asian Games, will come to the fore right in front of their eyes. Nervous moments for the 50 contributors for the item for Singapore. It'll be a dramatic light and sound show, I'm sure. It greets the performers in just a couple of moments and the audience.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in 2015, the Republic of Singapore will host the 28th SEA Games. We will now witness the magnificent and dynamic entertainment program presented by the Republic of Singapore. Please enjoy the performance.
It's only about 7.5 minutes, but hold on to your hats. There's going to be lots of action here. Just 50 people representing the whole of Singapore right here. People, cultures and generations together. Sport is a truly universal language. That's the theme. Display of dance inspired by the Malay Dikir Barat. And nuances of the Indian tabla, the Malay kompang and the gamelan orchestra. You see videos reverberating as well. Projection screen also emphasizes this movement as well. The theme is sport with art. The Singapore Soccer Association, the School of Arts and Team Singapore involved. Moves here inspired by synchronized swimming. The theme of water as a source of life and togetherness. And the visual backdrop as well. Interesting because, to be quite honest, it's no wonder it got an appreciation from the crowd, because that was actually Silon Chinau Dwata Chindapot is a song of unity in Myanmar. Just listen to the crowd. They love the idea that Singapore is saying thank you to the people of Myanmar for hosting such a wonderful 27th Games. It's not all future, it's saying thank you to the past. Hip-hop style of Singapura. dynamism of football, and of course a little sepak takraw move there, the very impressive movement. Now more balletic moves. And the performing arts under the segment theme, unity, wushu and taekwondo, we'll see. In fact, there are two Team Singapore athletes competed in Myanmar, also performers Raja Arshad bin Raja Mahmud and Tan Rui Jie. Also taekwondo coach Salavana. Gymnastics and breakdancing joined forces. Gymnastics, the pommel horse there, replicated. High up in the sky there, gold medalist in artistic gymnastics, Nabila, former Team Singapore gymnast in the background. Singing of Ashley Chua, 16 years old, from the Sota School of the Arts. Drum beats captured through the sound of balls being hit. Sporting Singapore ambassador is Neela, meeting Shweyu and Mamo. The meeting of the mascots. That's another lovely, lovely moment. Ashley Chua and the team 50 from Singapore, under the control and the creative directorship of Philip Tan, and Dr. Tan Kai Sung have brought that Singapore item to a close, and we look forward definitely to the 5th to the 16th of June 2015, when it will be something special to behold in Singapore. So there will be a couple more moments of this closing ceremony. In just a while there will be some performances by local artists in Myanmar, Nini Kinto and also Mei Kala. Another vocalist I have noted here is K. Mi Ko.
ပြန်ဆုံးမယ်ဆိုတဲ့အစီအစဉ်နဲ့ဖြောပြေးတင်ဆက်သွားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ရှင်29ကြိမ်မြောက်အရှေ့တောင်အာရှအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲကိုလာရောက်ခဲ့ကြတဲ့အရှေ့တောင်အာရှနိုင်ငံအသီးသီးမှဧည့်သည်တော်များအနေနဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံကိုထာဝရချစ်ကြည်ရင်းနှီးစွာဖြင့်အမှတ်တရရှိစေရန်အတွက်လေးစားချစ်ကြည်စွာဂုဏ်ပြုနှုတ်ဆက်သောအားဖြင့်ဖြောပြေးတင်ဆက်ထားခြင်းပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ရှင်ရှုစားတော်မူကြပါအောင်ရှင်
So Singapore have accepted the flag, they've accepted the baton, and they certainly have accepted the challenge. I've no doubt at all that they will relish the thought and the ideas, and with all the wonderful facilities now available in Singapore, there will be a record-breaking number of competitors coming who want to come to Singapore to compete. Over 4,500 were here at the time, and I'm sure that will increase. We've still got a few more things before we finally close up. You can see the Myanmar flag right in the centre of the projection screen, and again more kaleidoscope of colour emanating from the centre. And we will be getting again some entertainment from some local singers, and it will continue for a couple of moments. Myanmar with the SEA Games flag there, and it's just almost a review of what's gone on prior to this. The opening ceremony reviewed, of course, things that have happened during the 12 days of competition as well, as we see the marching in across the centre of this extraordinary stadium, the Wanatetli Stadium. It has been an enormous pleasure for us, no doubt whatsoever. The Malaysians we saw there, shot, enjoyed everything too. Great performances in the diving from them. All the mascots being appreciated as well. Malaysia right in the centre of that one. Chinlon, well, they were champions, weren't they? Myanmar, in all the disciplines. Cycling and the archery, and fabulous run there to finish. And the water polo, need we say more? Singapore champions for the 25th successive Southeast Asian Games. Extraordinary achievement. Like so many things in Myanmar and so many things in the 27th Southeast Asian Games, it's full of colour, it's full of honesty and passion, and no doubt will be remembered for many years to come. Chinlong we just saw in the background there. It has been an extravaganza of entertainment. We're coming up to almost 3 hours since we started the broadcast. I'm sure a few of you will have had to have a little refreshment during this time, but I hope you've enjoyed watching the coverage and also, of course, the ambitions of this reborn country of Myanmar. This was the most extraordinary finish as the Vietnamese runner in the 400 meters hurdles just faded at the last, right on the line. It summed up the ambition of all sportsmen, and of course success and failure in every sport is to be treated somewhat similarly, you have to say. If you are magnanimous in success, people will be magnanimous towards you when they are victorious. All the flags of the nations contributing here. Brunei, and there is Cambodia, and there Myanmar. All of the nations: Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Vietnam. They have had a wonderful time as the dancers parade around the flags of each nation. Wushu, very popular in Myanmar. Cycling, of course. Dina Chan did really so well in the 30-kilometer time trial for Singapore. First gold medal since 1997, and that coming off the back of a car accident just a few months ago. So Dina Chan will go back with very fond memories and great plaudits. There's symmetry in everything in Myanmar, in the buildings, certainly the dances have shown great symmetry. They have been practicing this particular maneuver for a long time. Now the entry of all the performers throughout the closing ceremony. My personal favourite, you've got it, the elephants. They were gorgeous. Just look at the colours. Fabulous timing when we saw them perform. They are spectacular. to at the beginning of our coverage, this was not really saying goodbye. This is a celebration of a nation that has been reborn. And there we see the Southeast Asian Games logo again being set with human form. Wonderful costumes, dresses, great variety of races in this nation. They've all come together, and here you can hear the tune and the words, "We will meet again." Well, this is an open invitation from all of us in Singapore to invite you down, because you have been magnificent hosts, Myanmar, and we'd love to see you in Singapore. The mascots, of course, from the Southeast Asian Games in various hosted countries. And the stage is the center of the Wonatecti Stadium, absolutely filled now with voice, with movement, with color, and every single one of those performers proud of their contribution.
Remaining friendly, we wish you all well, and as far always, and be all.
So the singers Nini Kinzo, Mei Kela, and Kai Miko have done a fabulous job drawing the whole festivity and celebration to a conclusion.
We will meet again. Remaining friendly, we wish you all well, and as far always, and be all.
I just can't believe the color and the creativity in the costumes. They are just beautiful. Now the youth of Myanmar still performing. They really don't want this to stop, do they? You can tell. They are so happy to be here performing for us.
Remaining friendly, we wish you all well, and as far always, and be all of you farewell.
Culmination of an extraordinary effort and planning and creativity, and the colors, the emotion, all coming together. I called it a cacophony before of sound, but it's a fiesta of celebration. See you in Singapore, there's no doubt about that. It's going to be 2015. I hope you can put it in your diary. It's in June. So the conclusion then of a magnificent 12 days of competition, real appreciation from the VIPs, of course. It was wonderful having His Excellency and his wife there, His Excellency U Tin Sin, the President of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, will now take his leave, I'm sure, but the assembled performers and the spectators will just be waiting just a little bit longer for the final moments of this closing ceremony.
နိုင်ငံတော်ဒေသနာများနဲ့ဆက်လက်ဖျော်ဖြေတင်ဆက်သွားမှာဖြစ်ပါကြောင်းကြိုတင်အသိပေးတင်ပြပါရစေရှင်
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor, the President of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, and Madam will be departing from the stadium very soon. Before the departure, we'd like to announce in advance that there will be many more performances and melodious sounds by our Myanmar renowned artists for the successful completion of the 27 SEA Games.
So, still moments of the official departure of His Excellency the President. Well, it has been an extraordinary event for us there. His Excellency the President U Tin Sin, he really has got to be very, very proud of what he's just witnessed, not just tonight, but for all the extraordinary efforts that have gone in over the many years, I'm sure, in preparation for this particular Southeast Asian Games. It has been amazing. Our expectations were fairly limited, I have to say, but the delivery has been extraordinary. I have been so impressed. As I mentioned before, my 16th Southeast Asian Games, and I have to say this was quite splendid. Singapore have obviously achieved well their ambitions and made a really, really good event here, but I can tell you now, the whole fact is we are going to make a very, very good host in 2015. There's no doubt at all about that. This is the farewell waves from the crowd and little tears by the elephants. Well, can you believe it? It is special. And I can't emphasize that enough. We have been really impressed by the warmth, the generosity of the people of Myanmar. They have been extraordinary, and they have definitely deserve all the plaudits for this amazing 27th Southeast Asian Games. Well, I think it's time for us to say goodbye from Myanmar. It has been stunning. I hope you've enjoyed it, but we'll see you all again in Singapore 2015.
Singapore Serpents has done it all over again. 18 years of age, a new SEA Games record, 3 gold medals, 3 SEA Games records.